that's not cute. That's not funny. Like, I don't know. There's just, yeah. Anyway, so last thing we're going to talk about is, I saw this tweet, and it was also a podcast episode that Lila Rose did, if you scroll all the way down. She talked about toxic femininity versus true femininity, and I thought that was really cool. And we talk about femininity a lot on this podcast, and we talk about like how do we define it, and I really love what she said. So I think this is going to be our, like, when we're talking about femininity, this is what we're going to be talking about. I love the way she defined this, and I'll link the podcast episode. It's a really good episode. So this is what she says toxic femininity is. Everybody listen. It's the all about me. It's rejecting children. It's using beauty to deceive and incite lust. Love that line. It sees men as enemies or conquest. It puts other women down, and it weaponizes emotion. This is toxic femininity, which is a real thing. We talk about toxic masculinity all the time, but there is toxic femininity. There's true femininity. Independent, focused on love. I'm sorry. Interdependent, focused on love. Embraces children. Uses beauty to inspire and heal. Collaborative with men, not competitive. Celebrates other women. The Summer of Barbie. Pursues virtue and honor. Love it.
Wow.
Love, love, love. When we're thinking femininity on this podcast, this is pretty much what we mean. Interdependent, focused on love, embracing children, uses beauty to inspire and heal. And I want to talk about that for 2 seconds. I really love that because I think that, ever since the fall of Eve, fall of Adam, women, God has made women beautiful. Women, all of our, Mary Kay said this on her episode when she was on the podcast, all of our sexual organs were on the inside. We're a mystery. We are different than men. And we can use this beauty in a positive way to inspire and heal, or to deceive and incite lust. Delilah from the Bible versus Esther. Oh, wow. I just made that good. Okay. Delilah from the Bible used her beauty to trick Samson. And because of that, Samson cut his hair, lost his strength. Esther from the Bible used her beauty, and she won the beauty contest to become queen. And because she was so beautiful, the king listened and respected her. And she saved her people. She saved the Israelites. So, the Jews. So, you guys, like, your beauty can do one or two things. Are you a Delilah or are you an Esther? That's the question for this week. Are you a Delilah or are you an Esther? How do you inspire and heal? We can talk about that on another episode, but that's just something to think about. Are you using your beauty to inspire and to heal, or are you using it to deceive and incite lust? Okay. Collaborate with men and not competitive. I think this is something naturally in our society, culture today, we have to fight against. We have to fight against being competitive with men. We are created for a purpose. We have great skill sets that are wonderful and beautiful, and men have their own. No need to compete. Celebrate other women. I think, like I said, Summer of Barbie. It is, you just want to be a girl's girl. I'll leave it at that. We can do another episode on that. Pursue virtue and honor. Love it. So I just love that she laid these out. It'd be fun to do an episode really breaking down all of these toxic, and maybe we'll do that in the near future. But yeah, let us know. Are you a Delilah or an Esther? If you're a Delilah, I hope you keep listening, and I hope that we can help God, the Holy Spirit, work through you to become an Esther.
I think we all have both. I mean, I know at work, I don't always celebrate other women. I know I find myself competing with other women to get more tables or to get more tips, or to work the hardest, to work the fastest, to be the teacher's pet. I don't think it's necessarily that we're good or bad, but maybe in what ways have you experienced toxic femininity? In what ways do you exude toxic femininity? And in what ways have you been working on true femininity?
Yes, I agree. I do feel like, I guess I'd have to see what you mean. So I'm just going to agree with what you said.
I think there are elements. I mean, yes, overall, someone's good, someone's probably bad. Like overall. But I think an interesting question would also be, in what ways are we both? In what ways do we have that toxic
Yeah.
femininity? And in what ways are we really embracing true femininity?
I guess what I mean is kind of like the example you gave with your coworkers. I think you can be
Oh, okay.
competitive. Like, it's a job. You got to pay your bills. So I think it's okay. But then at the same time, like, I guess this is another, like, a good thing, like, thinking more about this. You have to
Mhm.
pay your bills. So you do want
Totally.
to, for example, get that table. So then you have to
For
compete
sure.
with
And I
each
think
other
it's a
to say,
problem. I think it's a problem when other women say, "Well, you're greedy for wanting a
right.
table or wanting." That's not true femininity. True femininity is wanting that girl next to you to get that money, you know? You wanna help her with her table, make sure her tables are taken care of.
Yes. Yes. You want your sister to get the money, but you also want to make sure that this is interesting.
No, it's not an either
Right. Okay.
or.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
not
Yeah.
either you get money or I get money.
Right.
It's
It's a
we can both be successful tonight, and you may be making a little more money than me is not a failure on my
okay.
part.
Yes.
I'm congratulating you for getting
And the
lucky.
toxic would be just, I'm getting it, none for you. But a positive will be,
Exactly,
let's
either
both do
or.
it. Yes. Okay. Yes. Both and versus either or. Yes, that makes a lot more sense. Because in
Yeah,
my head, I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, you still have to pay your bills. So yes, that
for
makes a lot more
sure.
sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. 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 No. 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 Makes
No,
sense.
don't throw yourself under the bus
Yeah.
for anyone,
One thing that
but
I
encourage one another.
Exactly. And one thing that I just kind of, on that throwing yourself under the bus thing, I learned this. I don't know where I learned it, but one thing that's really important is we have to remember that, like, we have to be able to help others. We also have to be helping ourselves. Like, when you are a lifeguard, not even when you're on the plane, they say put your
Yep,
mask on before you put on someone else's.
yep,
So, one thing that,
yep.
yeah. So just remember that. So that's